Wait, can you ask that again? Because I
Nice.
just started recording.
Oh, how are you?
Oh my God, thanks for asking. I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm all right. You know, I'm alive. Living in Orange County in the middle of a pandemic. It's unreal. But coffee makes me no joke. I mean, you can keep this in. I don't really care because we're all about rigorous honesty. I took one sip of this French press and I was like,
It's time.
yeah. One sip. I was like, oh, hold
It
on.
has begun.
Yeah. I was like,
Let
oh,
the
there's my
let,
that's my
let the crappening commence.
go. Run. Yeah, I literally one sip and I was like, you've got tell me you're 30. Tell me you're 30 and over. I was like, God.
Are you 30 now?
I turned 30 in April. April 30th.
You
April
do this?
30th, I turned 30. Can you believe that?
Wow. Not really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
I
It's
can. In
unreal.
fact,
I
we're getting old.
yeah. Yeah.
I have gray
Older.
hair in my beard and my you can see it in my sideburns. See that?
I have it. Wow.
Isn't that
I
stupid?
have silver hairs coming right out in the front.
How
That's been interesting.
how lovely, you know? We're seasoned
I
veterans of the
yeah,
world.
it's yeah, and like I know we'll talk all about it, but I to be honest, I don't know. I mean, we were young and stupid in LA together. Like I don't think I ever thought I was going to get to this age. At deep
Yeah.
down, I
Mm-mm.
don't think I thought I was going to just like go out in a blaze of glory in my 20s and
Yeah, me too. It's
you
27.
know, yeah, yeah, like I was like when I made it past 27, I was like, all right, I'm going to have to dedicate. I'm going to have to commit to this.
Right. I guess I'll
Like
be living still then, I
yeah, I
suppose.
was like I guess I'm going to be stay alive. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a journey it's been.
What a journey it's been. I know.
So
Jesus.
so for some so you and we grew up in the same town of Modesto, California,
We
right?
did.
I'm friends with
Mhm.
you. I knew your boyfriend. I went to high school with your boyfriend.
Fiance.
Your
Can you
fiance.
can you believe
Fiance.
that? Yeah, you guys went to high school together. That's right.
That's cool. He's a cool dude. I remember even back then, like he was a grade younger than me, but he had so much swagger.
Yeah, he's
He
still
did.
I don't know how he gets this like reckless like I literally will look at him and be like, "How on earth do you wake up and just be like, I'm cool every
Yeah.
day?" And
Yeah.
it's not like it's not hubris or anything. He literally
Right.
just wakes up and he leads with his chest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't look at me.
Yeah.
I'm the
I know.
opposite.
I won't be like that when I grow up.
Yeah. Yep. Good
So
God.
all right, so check it out. I actually haven't really gotten the scoop. Like how long have you been clean and sober now?
I got 3 years on the 4th of February.
Holy macaroni. So
Can
you're
you
right there
believe?
with
I
yeah, bro.
yeah, I was like, I got sober like right out. I like maybe
Right
6 months
after me.
after you.
Dang, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I didn't know you'd gotten sober until I think you posted a year. And I was like, dude. And I think I'd had 6 months. And I
Yeah.
was like, that makes me feel so, even though we hadn't really spoken, it's so interesting. I never feel like you're not in my life
Yeah.
simply because we're not immediately talking all the time. And
Right.
I saw that and I was like, I'm going to be okay because
Yeah.
James is going through this too and like is newly sober
Mhm.
and is understanding what it's like to like be a baby again and
Oh
like
my
feel
God,
all
I'm
your
still
feelings and
I'm 3 years old, I'm a little
same,
toddler, you
just
know?
angry and needy. So needy.
For me, sometimes it's hard for me to, like, look at how far along people are that are in my age group, my friends and stuff that didn't feel the need to,
Blow their
um
life up. Yeah.
yeah, bro,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I have some really dear friends here in, Asheville. I was in a band with for a long time, Badwater, a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of those folks live here now, and, them and their wives have, like, homes and, you know, now children are a part of the picture, and they have friends they golf with, and that they talk about real estate and sports with, and I'm just
The
sitting there
hell?
like I'm like, "I'm just saying, I'm just happy about being on the show, man." You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's been really hard to not turn. My sponsor calls these the space machines. I've found myself past and future tripping in a way
Yeah.
of like, man, if I hadn't, because my drinking didn't really get bad until right before I joined For the Record. So
Okay.
my it didn't, and I think it's because I was over the age of like 21 at the point. Like once I turned 22, like maybe a little before that, it was just like cute, young, funny drinking. And then it was like, oh no, you're always ending up in a bathtub at the end of the night
Yeah,
crying
yeah.
or something. You know, there's
Yeah, yeah.
there's always like something always went too far. But like when you're that young, nobody thinks about it.
Right.
And then, when you perform in bars
Yeah.
and you
Eh
drink and like your whole job is to begin a show while standing on the bar singing,
right. Right.
Rockwell and DBA
Mhm.
and Ships and
Oh, yeah.
so on and so forth. Like that I anyway, to go back to the first thought, because my ADHD will not let me have a through line of thinking. I I the other day was just like, man, if I hadn't lost those 6 years, or those five, like seemingly very important years of prime physical and like emotional time,
Mhm.
would I be further?
Right.
And that's with someone who, I feel very successful in my life, and I feel very stable, and I feel like I've really done my job, and my purpose
Right.
here has been fulfilled, and will continue to be. But fuck, man, there are
Oh, yeah.
moments. There are moments where I'm like, God damn it! Like
Yeah.
some people have like houses, like you said, and
Mhm.
some people have families and or multiple TV shows, or
Yeah.
I've been living in New York and loving it for years, and I only just got there, and it
Right.
just kind of goes to show like it doesn't do anything for me except cause me to suffer to think that
No.
way.
Right.
But yeah,
And
it's hard
we're
it's
and we're
hard not to.
and I hear it in the rooms all the time when people say you can't compare your insides to other people's outsides, you know?
Exactly. I love
They're
that.
outs on the outside, they're doing very well. We don't know
Yep.
what it's like on the inside, you know?
No. Just keep your eyes on your own
Stay
paper.
stay in your own lane.
Stay in your lane, focus on you, because that's
Yeah.
where the work happens.
Right?
Easier said than done.
Hey, are you, down to kinda tell me, like, what was the end of your drinking like? Like, what was it like there at the end?
It's so interesting. I think other people would see it, when I've told the story and when I've shared, my experience, strength, and hope with others in the rooms and out of the rooms. I described the end of my drinking as not the worst of what I went through, but it was
Sure.
my bottom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
get
other
that.
people are like, I don't know, dude, that's pretty bad. but
Right.
but but I've coming from someone who's like come to jingling their keys in their hand outside of an apartment and looking like coming out of a blackout or a brownout and looking
Mhm.
down and seeing bare feet
Yeah.
and no wallet and like a
Mhm.
broken phone, and like don't know how I got from West Hollywood to Hollywood, like
Right.
Whitley Heights. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
or
Like
what happened in the interim.
what
Yeah.
happened in the but like no bruises on my body, so like I'm
Mhm.
fine. I don't have to explain. But like, did I walk from West Hollywood to to
Right.
Cahuenga? Like,
Right.
what are you kidding me? So
Right.
those I've had a lot of moments like that, and then what really brought me to my knees was being in a really volatile relationship, um, and
Mm.
that person's drinking getting completely out of hand and violent and scary, and it compounding my own drinking and my own need to blow things up. Like two alcoholics together in a studio apartment in Hollywood is literally
Nightmarish.
a nightmare, and for I think for both parties. And I haven't really spoken to this person much since all of that, but since the true end of all of that. But um, it was really bad. And then after that, after that specific encounter happened, like, being nearly choked to death and telling me that I was going to be killed, and then that person would kill themselves, and sawing at their arm with a knife, and like, and being so wasted that their eyes were like shark black, you know what I
Mm.
mean? And being like, that's not a person anymore, that's an
Yeah.
animal. And
Yeah.
and being fearful of my life while also being wasted, like
Right.
also being wasted, and trying to come through and be like, oh God, oh God. And it wasn't just alcohol, it was party drugs, and
Yeah.
so many fucking drugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but usually to bring
Mhm.
bring the emotions back up after depressing so hard with
Right.
alcohol, to kind
So
of,
that you could keep
and to
drinking.
elongate. Yeah, yes
Yeah.
ma'am, yes ma'am.
Mhm.
But the police were called, and I went to a friend's house, a friend who called the police for me because he wouldn't let me have the phone.
Mm.
They came, and one person stood next to me, one police officer, and then two others went and pounded on the door and removed him and took him to jail. And then I went back after that. I went back to that person, which
Wow.
really showed what was up with me, which
Right.
really showed like my fear of being alone. And by
Sure.
going back to that person, in my heart first, like mentally, I was like, and I made up so many excuses of like, well, I don't have another place to live. And I pay rent here, and
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
all these, so many things that like a lot of people who go through domestic violence and abuse, and possibly become abusers themselves because it's all that they know. Um, like all of the things that were being done to me, I think I was regurgitating in some form in my life. So I think my relationships with other people had become extremely strained, and I'd become
Mm.
a user and an abuser of
Mm.
so many substances, of so many kindnesses. And then a friend of mine was moving. This is right before I got sober. A friend of mine was moving, and I was in, it's not funny. It's not funny at all because it's caused great pain, but I'm laughing at how unbelievable my behavior is. And yet so believable because kind of anything's possible when you're
Right.
wasted in your
Right.
mind, anything's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
And I was in North Hollywood getting my nipples pierced and my septum pierced, baby, getting wasted with another longtime friend, and trying to drown out the pain of this failed relationship, and and not processing what had happened to me and what I had allowed into my life,
Yeah.
and how wrong everything had gone. Uh, and I showed up so late to this friend's house to help this person move, and moved them from one side of town to the other, helped them move. We were up for days, days and days
Wow.
and days. And this was like, I'm going to say like 2 or 3 days a week. So
Wow.
cuckoo for Cocoa
Mhm.
Puffs,
Mhm.
cuckoo for Cocoa. I think like maybe an hour of sleep. And this is on
Wow.
top of crying and drinking and drugging, blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
And,
yeah, yeah. Just
and
depleted.
it absolutely like empty, not a person. Literally,
Right.
my soul left my body and went like, call me when the
Tell me when you're
renovations are
done.
done. Like I
Right.
can't. Yeah,
Damn. Yeah.
like truly my humanity had left me. And it's not
Sure.
an excuse. It's an
No, 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 of
experience.
course not. Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
absolute
I know.
experience.
Yeah.
And this person, my relationship with this person was already strained, and this person had been making excuses for me. And like this
Right.
person was number one on my amends list,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was that kind of pain that I had caused. Um, Massive accountability needed. And I can feel it in my chest now, thinking about it today. And I remember going from where I had moved this person and their husband, and getting back because I had to go back to their old apartment to get my suitcase that they had removed from the home to get me out of there, because I was going to go to another friend's house and crash.
Mm.
And long story less long, I guess I drank a whole bottle of like of all things Fireball whiskey. Good God. Which immediately makes me think of the ship. And I drank a whole bottle of that, and there had already been a bottle in the freezer, so I must have ordered some. It was like wild. Like I had acquired, with what money, I have no idea, but like I had
May have
acquired.
stolen it. We don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I was like, did I
Right.
go into a liquor store and like pop it out? Like I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, essentially from what I understand, and this is extremely revealing, and I've never said this out loud, but from what I understand, and it took 3 years to find out truly what happened when
Mhm.
the amends was finally made,
Mhm.
which was not as bad as I thought. Like, I thought that I, like, killed somebody or something, you know what I mean?
Jeez.
But then it hit me and I was like, "Oh, that's bad." I woke up naked on a floor.
Wow.
Like, no idea, like, woke up naked face down to them coming into their apartment being like, "You gotta go."
Damn.
And that's awful. That's
Right.
awful, uh, and I knew in that moment that I lost that friend forever. I knew in that moment that I had been abusing that friendship. I knew in that moment that I was really no better than what had been done to me, and, and what I had allowed in my space and what I allowed in my life, and then I went back to the apartment, and that person that had been taken away from the apartment was there, and I was trying to get sober, and, I didn't know where else to go at 3 in the morning. And I'm actually very grateful for that person, for this, which he gave me a website of the Los Angeles AA meeting, here are
Directory.
all the addresses. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I literally, like, 5 a.m., February 4th, I was like, done. In my
Mhm.
mind, I was like, I'm done. This is it. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I have to be, or I'm going to die. I'm going to
Yeah.
die. And
Yeah.
I walked from, we lived by the Kaiser Permanente in the Scientology Center.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
walked
yeah.
from, I walked from Alexandria and Sunset all the way down past the Rockwell, um, to that church on Hillhurst. There's like a little church on Hillhurst, and I went into a women's meeting, in a basement, and I'll never forget this. This is how you know that there are God shots, that
Mhm.
there are moments of, like, was that person even actually there?
Sure.
And there was a woman outside of this meeting smoking.
Mhm.
She had bright pink hair, mohawk,
Mm.
a
Love
moto
it.
jacket with all these, like, patches. I mean, she looked like an '80s, like, dominatrix dream, and she was, like, nasty cool and so
Yeah.
scary. And I looked not unlike this, like,
Mm.
and,
But, like, bedraggled.
but yeah, like,
Yeah.
fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, just absolutely haggard and empty and sad,
Sure.
and I walked by myself and was like, "I cannot believe I'm doing this. I'm going by myself."
I love it.
And
What'd she say?
she looked at me because I was, like, kind of hovering and not knowing. I didn't wanna ask anybody. I was so afraid of human connection and, of taking space in any way, and she
Yeah.
went, "You want a cigarette?" And I said, "Yeah, I would love one actually." And she gave it to me, she lit it, and she was like, "You one of us?" And I was like, "I think so." She was like, "Yeah, you can come sit next to me." I've never seen her again. I've never seen that woman again in any of the rooms.
Ah.
Like,
Yeah.
I've never, and she's pretty distinctive, and I literally was like, maybe she was in town for, like, a week and happened, like, because I don't know if I would have been able to go in unless someone said, "Hey, come in with us."
Yeah.
And so I had a cigarette with this fantastic pink haired motorcycle
Right.
woman,
Right.
and with, like,
And she was the
thigh-high
one
leather boots.
and you needed
Yeah,
her,
I
like, you
needed
needed
her
to
so
see
badly.
that, like, a cool person can do this too, like,
Yeah,
someone who
and
has,
it
like they're not gonna lose yourself in this program, like, I'm gonna be
yeah,
myself still.
yeah, exactly, and, like, and it was a women's meeting, which I think
Mm.
was really necessary for me because
Yeah.
I had a great fear of men,
Yeah.
obviously,
Right,
at
after
the
that
time,
event,
and
yeah.
mhm, and that was really the end of it, and I went into that room and raised my hand. They said,
Mhm.
if anybody else in here an alcoholic, you raise your hand,
Mhm.
and they
"Hi,
said,
Lindsay."
"Why, fuck," I know, and then it was like, anybody their first time at this meeting? A couple hands go up. I was the only one there that day that had 1 day,
Mm.
and I was like, and I didn't even think I had exactly 24 hours or something like that, and I was
Right.
like, and
Yeah.
and to be fair, like, I was probably still coming down from everything,
Right,
like, it just
right.
everything seeping out of my I probably smelled like a
Mm.
brewery,
Yeah, me too at my
but
first meeting for sure.
and it was I was just, like, trembling and alone, like, holding back tears the whole time
Oh,
with
yeah.
nasty, like, sludge coffee in my hand, just like
Me too.
and, like, and a cookie just
Yeah, you could be telling my story. That's exactly how it was
Yeah.
for my first meeting,
Yeah.
and I felt the
Yeah.
same way too. I had, like, such a such an important meeting that meeting.
Yeah.
My then fiance took me. She was like, she found me
Mhm.
on the floor for the umpteenth day in a row and was like, "James, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
And I had promised her multiple days in a row, "I'm not gonna do this to you anymore," and
Yeah.
I meant it every single time I said it.
Of
I meant
course.
it. And then,
I
like, it
know.
would feel like magic. I would end up at the bar doing blow and drinking, you know?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would feel like magic. I'm like, "What? I meant it. Like, how did this happen
Yeah.
to me?"
Yeah, what
"What's
is going
going
on?
on?" So,
Yeah.
jinx. So anyway, she goes,
Yeah.
she goes, "You need to get some help." And at that point, like, I was, like, so done. I was so
Yeah.
hurting and so empty inside, and like
Mhm.
you, I had been up getting fitful sleep on like a
Mhm.
couple hours of sleep a night on the floor, the very hard, cold floor of the kitchen or the living
Yeah.
room both times, and it's like,
Yeah.
why? But and she, my fiance is threatening to leave me. She took the ring off at one point. She was just trying to
Yeah.
do anything she could to get me to get some help.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "No, I'm good, you're right. I have a problem. I'm gonna get it taken care of, I'm not gonna do this to you again." And then magic, next night, boom, bar.
Yeah.
And
Cunning, baffling, powerful.
yeah, insane.
It's
And I'm like,
unreal.
I remember that last morning I was
Pure
looking
insanity.
up at the ceiling and the popcorn ceiling was like morphing into these demonic images. And it just
Yep.
felt like the walls were laughing at me. And
Mhm.
it was
Yeah.
like I felt like it almost felt like this like demonic presence just came and sat on my chest and was like, "I got you, bitch. You have to
Yeah.
kill yourself now. You have to." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no way out of this. You're a piece of shit. You have to kill yourself. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. I was like, "Yeah, you're right, Mr. Satan. You're correct. I have to kill myself." And I
Yeah.
was like and then I just was like, "No, no." Like
There's gotta be something
the
else.
little boy in me was just like, "No, please. Let's not." Like, I want I
Yeah.
want I want good stuff. I don't wanna die. I wanna live, It was like
Yeah.
a Peter Pan moment almost of like, you know, the little
I
boy was
wanna
like, "I
grow
don't want."
up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I do want to
I
grow up,
wanna grow
right?
up.
And,
Yeah.
I went and she took me with a friend of mine who's in the program, like, he came and picked me up and we or no, we she and I rode together in an Uber. It was an open meeting, so she could come with me,
Yeah.
and I met my dear friend there who brought me in. I'd had dinner with him, like, a couple weeks before and told him, like, "Yeah, I'm taking a little break from drinking because I was in a blackout, and I guess I broke up with my fiance, and, you know, and I
Yeah.
woke up and was like, "What? No, I don't wanna break up with you. I love you. This is, don't leave me." And he was like, "Oh, okay, well, you know,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. They've heard
Don't
it
do that."
all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So then, like,
They've heard every story.
right, and then a couple
Yeah.
weeks later, I call him, I'm like, "I got a problem, bro." And he's like, "Let's go,
Yeah.
man." And we got to
Yeah.
this meeting and same
Thank
thing, like,
God.
I'm shaking, vomity, like, just choking
Oh.
down vomit, just, like, smashing it down. And I
Mhm.
was not quite sober yet, but this was day 1, And,
Yeah.
I'm sitting there shaky, the sludge coffee, like you said, and the dude
I
who
miss that so
shared
much.
not me, man, I'm on to some other good. Oh,
I
man, we
just miss
forgot the
being in the
segment.
Yeah, I just miss being in the rooms with, like, someone making the sludge coffee and, like,
Sure.
because of this pandemic, but anyway, keep going. You were sitting there and choking it down and just
Yeah,
trembling and yeah,
and
brought to your
thank
knees.
God Yaz is just sitting there with me, like, just being a total champ.
Yeah.
And this dude that was, sharing it was a speaker meeting, he was, like, wearing a powder blue suit, and he had big, bright eyes, and he got up there, and he had a huge smile on his face, and he opens the book, and he goes, "This is my favorite part right here. Pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization." And I was like, You know?
And what's funny is even now in sobriety, I'm like, "Yeah, it sounds about right."
Yeah.
It's just me all the time.
Dang,
Yep,
man.
it's
You know?
unreal.
But, obviously, there's some joy now, there's some
Oh,
joy.
so much.
There's
Yeah.
some relief, and
Mhm.
it's like, Roger Waters of, Pink Floyd said this really cool thing about his actual wall that he built, in his life,
Yeah.
about like, at the end of the wall just comes down in one fell swoop. And
Mhm.
unfortunately in real life, that's just not how mine has had to come down. It had to go up the same way it went up, one brick at a time, you know?
Mhm.
And I feel like that's so true for me and for my life, like we get clean. I admit I have the problem. I stop drinking.
Mhm.
Then I have to get to work, like dismantling all this grief and shame and damage,
Mhm.
it's hard to make
Yeah.
those amends. And I've made amends to some people, and I'm not going to lie to you. I've done some really like embarrassing and reprehensible shit in sobriety, like within the first couple years, I've done some
Totally.
stuff that I'm like, why would I do that? Like, I thought I
Yeah.
was like better than that,
Yeah.
stuff that like I've had to make amends for. And it's been tough, but like, you do start to get a little self-esteem, you start to help people and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is it's sorry if you can hear the rain outside.
That's awesome.
It's what I strive for now is the emotional sobriety on top of the physical,
Yeah.
because it, it's like you know that saying of like get rid of it in the order that it's killing you, things like that.
Oh
But I
no,
was
I
like,
love that.
okay, yeah, it's like some people are like, I want to quit weed, or I want to stop drinking, or I want to quit smoking, or I want to stop, fucking people I don't know, or whatever it
Yeah,
is, and
you
it's
may
like
want
you
to
have to
stop
do it.
crack first.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly, like,
Right.
stop the heroin first, or
Right.
stop drinking first, then
Yeah.
worry about the smoking, and then
Right.
worry about, the other things, and very quickly it was, we gotta talk about your codependency. We
Mhm.
gotta talk about your abandonment issues. We gotta talk
Oh
about
yeah.
the outside things as well. You may need to see a therapist. You may need to
Yeah.
do this work. This work is truly a stepping stone. The consistent inventory that I
Mhm.
always take,
Yeah.
and rigorous honesty, which is something that I thought I was so into. When I first got sober, I was like, yeah, rigorous honesty. And then I was like, oh my God, I have to be like so honest all the time. Like, oh my God. But then
Right.
people are gonna see me and they're gonna realize I'm not perfect, and then they're gonna leave. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like they're gonna realize that like I don't have it all together, that
Right.
that I'm trash or whatever it is.
Right.
And we got to talk about the way that in which you feel and you think about yourself. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so this is an important question that I
Yes.
forgot to ask you. What kind of coffee are you drinking right now? What do you got?
Right now it's some Valhalla something. Oh my God. Do you
Oh
ever
my
sometimes, now that
god.
you're 30 and up, like, do you ever your knees just start cracking and you're like, "Fuck you."
Oh yeah, or
Um,
something of that nature.
something, yeah, it's
Maybe it's
usually
not my knees.
my
Yeah.
goddamn neck. It's called Valhalla Java, and she's powerful. It's a, uh, Indonesian blend. The ending it says, "With maximum flavor and a high caffeine content, this coffee
Oh,
will bring you back from the nights you thought you'd never wake up from."
oh my god.
And then it says, "Do you bleed black?" I'm like, "Ooh." But it's
You're like,
strong. It's really
wow,
good.
that's some coffee right there.
Yeah,
God
it's
dang, look
like
at that.
yeah,
What is that? Who is that on there?
it's Odin, man.
Damn.
That's a
Jesus.
god, dude. That's a
Damn,
god.
that's a god of coffee,
That's
dog.
a god, dog.
Odin
Um,
go hard in this piece.
yeah. I was like, yeah, homeboy's got one eye. Yeah. Uh,
Does he have a raven too?
yeah, he's got two. I think he always has two ravens. Steven knows so much about. Oh yeah, and a dog. Dog.
Is it a Nor is Odin a Norse god?
Yeah, that he's like the Norse god, like
Ooh.
the head of all of them.
Oh, he's like the Norse Zeus.
Basically, yeah. Steven, if Steven ever listens to this, he's gonna be like, "That's not correct," because he's into all of it, and
Okay.
knows all of it. But yeah, I it's strong. Like it's got that like I'm awake, but I drink it with oat milk because I'm a little beach. I can't
Are
drink.
you a are you a vegan now? Have you been doing vegan stuff?
I was plant-based for a really, really, really long time, actually. When I
Mhm.
first got sober, I went from, eating like a six-year-old man-child, to a more plant-based diet, especially when I was on the ship, just because you never I went after about I'm gonna say like 9 8, 9 months I got sober. I left for another ship job that took me all over the world, which was really,
Oh, so
it was like an eat, pray, love experience. It was really
oh,
unbelievable.
fantastic.
And it just showed me how much I had to be grateful for and how little
Mm,
I knew about anything.
the
And
world.
which was pretty much zero. Like I knew
Mm,
zero. And I was somebody that was already decently well traveled. And then I was like, oh, I don't know anything.
yeah, me
And
neither.
yeah, and I never knew on the ship with the meat situation
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
if I was gonna be at tummy town or not.
yeah.
What's that? I don't know, but it's not a fun place to be. It was interesting to begin to shift my views of food because I as a person, I'm someone of feast or famine, highs or
Okay.
lows, all or nothing. And that my alcoholism does not just stay in AA. Like I have to be like, okay, what's the deal with the food thing today? You
Right.
know, or
Yeah.
what's the deal with the love thing today? Or
What's the deal with
what
relationships?
what is
Good
the
God, I'm the
obsession
worst.
thing? Like
Yeah,
what is your obsession today?
yeah.
And so I had to be really careful about that. And when I was doing Broadway, I was fully plant based because uh, I have a lot of like food intolerances. Like
Oh, you got
I'm
some
like,
acid reflux stuff, so you had to take care of your
yeah.
voice
So
by having plant-based?
I had to be really, really careful about what was going in,
How
simply
far
because I had to keep it so
sorry,
steady.
sorry.
No, you're good.
How far into, your sobriety did you get to do Broadway?
Uh, I turned two
Wow.
a week into rehearsals.
And then how long were you on there before COVID happened?
3 weeks.
Good God.
Well, I'm going back though. I get to go back, so it's
Great,
okay.
great,
It's like
great.
we're all going back, but yeah, I
Awesome.
and funny enough, my sponsor, who's very open about her sobriety, um, was in that building, and
Mhm.
I went around and met everyone on my birthday, on my
Mm,
sober anniversary,
mm.
and I hugged
Aw,
her and let her know, you know, following you in your journey has been so amazing. And I followed while I was on the ship. It was like I would always, you know, she was kind of like at the top of all of my feeds whenever I would, which I don't think was an accident. She was just at the
mhm.
top of all of my feeds whenever I would have internet and I would check social media. It was always her and her account and her journey and what she was going through and
Was
her
she your sponsor at
sobriety.
the time?
No, no, not at the
Okay.
time. And
Mhm.
I gave her a hug and said, I can't explain to you how important. I know you don't know me, but like
Yeah.
it's so important that you are who you are and that I've been able to follow this. And she was like, "Oh my God, are you sober?" You know, and this is like backstage at Wicked. And I said, "Yeah, I am." And she went, "Oh my God, how many, you know, how long?" And I said, "Today's my 2 years." And she was like, "Oh my
Ah!
God." And I was like, "I know, it really is like, that's the magic I'm interested in." You
Yeah,
know, that's the miracle for me. And then
sure.
I was backstage shadowing the Alphaba at the time,
Mhm.
watching her do her show backstage, so I would know where to go and where, you know, where not to
Yep.
be. And this is it in the middle of a show,
Mhm.
and this person came up to me, and um, I was like hiding in a little corner, like looking out, watching Wicked on fucking Broadway, and she was like, "Can you believe?" She was like, "Look at where you are." And I was like, "I know." And I said, "And you know, if I'd gotten this at any other time, I would have fucked it up.
Right. If you'd have
I would,
got it at all, right?
if I'd even, yeah, I was like, if I even got to an audition or like had an agent or like
Yep.
was accountable in any way for my career or myself
Mhm. Yeah.
and and like what a miracle that I have a singing voice at all anymore. Like
Yep.
it's a let alone for that role
Sure.
and the amount of healing that my body's been through in so many ways. And she was like, she held me by my hands. You know, she's in this ridiculous costume, and she's held me by my hands, and she was like, "It is not a coincidence that it is happening now. That you are in this role. You know, someone else is going to see you the way that you saw me, and be like, I think I need to be that. I think, or not be that, but I think I need to reach for that. I think I need to go for that miracle."
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like slight ramble, slight tangent, but I feel like these conversations are so important because Do I want tons of people knowing that I woke up face down naked in an apartment floor? Of course not. Is it the truth? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like these space machines are liars. They're fucking liars, and they make everybody seem like they're not going through something, or that they're perfect, or that you have to aim for this like unreachable goal of like success, perfection, you know, beauty, whatever the hell it is, fitness, whatever it is.
Hmm.
um when this happens, real suffering happens in the world, and then it keeps you from the rooms because it
Hmm.
makes you feel like if you go and get help for what's happening to you in any capacity, sex, drugs, any of it, therapy, any of it, you're like disgusting or damaged, or we don't talk about it. It's a taboo. And I'm like, no, it isn't. No, it's
Nothing's
not.
taboo.
If we're
Nothing's off
talking about
limits.
mental health, let's talk about addiction, baby. It's a disease.
Hmm.
It's a disease, and I was
Yeah.
sick and I got better.
Yeah.
A little bit. I get better every day. But, like,
Right.
I was sick and I got better, and
You got a
I
daily
needed
reprieve.
to. Yeah, and I have to do it every day.
Yeah.
I have to
Me
do it
too.
every day. There's a whole cabinet full of liquor, and I don't touch it. I don't think about it. I mean, now that I'm talking about it, but, like, I literally never think about it. I don't
Yeah.
never, because every single day I have to give it up. I have to give it away to the source, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and the higher power as I've come to know it is just, which I believe is just like my ascended self, like myself when I'm gone from this world, being like, yo, if you just did this, it'd be way easier. Like,
Right.
just if
That
you
voice
would
is so
just
quiet sometimes, though.
so
You know what I mean?
God, project,
Yeah.
enunciate.
You're like, I'm not that person's like, "I'm not yelling," you know, I mean, I know
Yep.
you can hear me, so don't
Yeah.
try to pretend like you can't hear me. I know you know what the right thing to do is.
Mhm. My sponsor the other day, this is probably like a month ago. I got into a slight depressive state. How can you
Mhm.
not with everything going
Right.
on?
Yeah,
Um,
and winter.
yeah, and she had given me really incredible things to do for my sobriety, like tasks and homework assignments and stuff, and reading, and I didn't do any of it. Like
Mm.
I did amends. I did some amends, because we're going slowly through that. And then she was like, you know, I think you need to start looking for a sponsee, which is very exciting. And I'm like, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to be a mother, but uh, I like fessed up. I was like, hey, I just gotta let you know, like I've been having a really hard time, and all of these things were so great, but I like couldn't bring myself to do it. But I've been going to meetings, you know, and you know, and I immediately started explaining, you know, afraid that she was going to be like, we're gonna need to talk
Oh,
about we're gonna
Lindsay
need
was
to talk about your eligibility as my sponsee, you know, like yada
mhm,
yada. And she's watching, you know, this woman's got like 15 years, something like that. She's been in and out of the program. Like
mhm.
she's she's been in AA for forever. And
Yeah.
um just listening to me, and listening to me go in circles around myself like a insane person. And I don't say insane lightly. Like it is pure insanity what happens to an alcoholic brain, or to an addicted brain. And she was like, "Can I just tell you something really quick before you keep going?" I said, "Yeah." And she was like, "I just want to remind you, they're just suggestions." And I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
suggestions. It says it
my
in the
sponsor's a
book.
sweet, sweet man too,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and I
She
thought
was,
I what I needed was like a militant, like,
me too.
you
I was,
know,
I need somebody
boxing
to,
coach who's gonna,
yeah.
like, follow me in a car going, "Run faster, motherfucker. Do do more recovery shit." But no,
Whereas
he's
I
so,
need,
so sweet to me, and apparently that's what I needed,
yeah,
you
I need to
know?
be
Apparently I
cradled.
needed yeah,
Yeah.
jeez.
I just need to
And
be
and right now
held.
I have a couple guys that I'm trying to help out, and I'm struggling to be that sweet. Like, I wanna crack a whip. I wanna be like, "You don't understand," because 'cause I've you know,
Yeah.
I had a dear friend of mine who I was also trying to help recently die from an overdose, and I just, like,
I'm so
um
sorry.
yeah, it was, like, really, really hard on me, and I feel
Yeah.
like I have to try s I mean, I have to take this thing so much more seriously, you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
know that it's none of it is my fault, that, when we're messengers of this, of the good news, that we're just like, as my sponsor's friend puts it, we're delivering pizzas. I can't just bring you a pizza to your house for no reason. You have to order a pizza, and then I'll
Yeah.
come and bring you the pizza, and I'll even share it with you. I'll show you how to eat the fucking thing,
Mhm.
But like,
They have to be
yeah,
willing.
you got to be willing. You have to order the pizza, otherwise I can't deliver it.
Yep. Yeah.
Because you're not
That's
gonna. Yeah,
no, no, keep going.
that's it. That's all.
But
Really.
but it's true. It's like how many times before your final push into the room,
Mhm.
before it was like it's like
Do
it's
or die.
like that New York or nowhere mentality of like I got to be here or I can't be anywhere else. I have to be in the ground. Like there's no other solution. How many times would you have those quiet moments with yourself or with somebody else where it was just like you don't even have to say anything? I know where
Countless.
you're like countless.
Yeah.
A month before I threw the final pipe bomb into my life, um, I was outside of a job with someone that I used with, very good friend, the person that I lost in the journey of getting to sobriety.
Mhm.
Um, we were smoking. It was right before a shift, and I said, "I think I got to be done. I don't know if I can do this anymore."
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, like she was kind of feeling it too, and I was
Yeah.
like, I just don't. I think it might. I think we might have a problem. I think I might have like a problem. Problem. My problem had like a vice grip around my throat and a hand at the back of my head, just leaving me anywhere. And I remember thinking about that moment a lot, and that was just like that was when it was a whisper, when it was like, hey,
Yeah.
should probably go get some help.
Right.
And then it took screaming to be like,
Yeah.
oh, and it's I'm not proud. There's not I'm not proud that people had to be hurt in order for me to get where I needed to go.
Oh
You know
no,
what I
I
mean?
hate
But
it.
that's
Yeah.
I hate it that the last thing that I want to be in the world is a pain to somebody else. And not
Right.
a pain, but a source of pain.
Oh yeah.
Um, I don't
Yeah.
really mind being a pain in the ass, but like being a source of someone's suffering is agony to me.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
when I read, with this sponsor that I have that I've had for the last year, she's my third one, and I had to do the most thorough inventory. And reading it through, she was like, "What is the one thing that you've noticed in all of this?" The sex inventory, the money inventory, all of the things, the resentments, all of the things. What have you noticed is a key factor in your behavioral pattern? And I said, well, clearly I don't want to be abandoned.
Mhm.
Clearly I don't want anybody to leave me,
Mhm.
but I also am desperate to not give them a reason to. Like
Mhm.
I will do anything, and by doing that, I usually smother it, and it's a shame, and it's like a form of um, almost like narcissism, just being so wrapped up in yourself that you can't see what's going on around you,
Mhm.
and the clarity that sobriety has brought me and the self-awareness is whilst sometimes painful,
Mhm.
um, it's invaluable.
Oh yeah. I
It's
mean, I
really
have.
invaluable to
I've
know
had to
myself
come.
this well.
Yeah. I've had to come to terms with my own narcissism. It's been
Mhm.
it's been a long journey.
Yeah,
I
but
may remember being like pretty directly confronted about my narcissism a few times in my like late
totally.
adolescence, late teens, early 20s, people being like, "You're a narcissist. You're being narcissistic." And then
You're
just
like, "Fuck you."
yeah, how dare you?
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
but I knew they were right, deep down inside.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, I just didn't know. I just had no idea where to start.
Yeah,
And really it started with not drinking anymore. Like
yeah,
you can't grow. You can't grow spiritually, you can't grow, psychologically. You're like stunted right at the spot where you started. And I started
mhm,
drinking when I was a scared 16-year-old boy trying to find his place in, a big high school and
yeah,
trying to navigate I love my my parents very much, but they divorced when I was
yeah,
2. I needed a
yeah,
woman very badly in my life, you know,
yep,
trying to navigate that as an adult has been very, shitty. Just
yeah,
realizing like the really reprehensible things that I will do to get the sort of attention from a woman that I feel like I need. So I'm just learning to
totally.
be alone right now. Learning to
Yeah,
be alone, learning to be nice to people and nice to myself. And
yeah.
just trying to help some people get clean and sober.
Yeah.
Do you do you have any other, like, obviously, like, being on Broadway is like a huge gift of sobriety, but like, do you have any other
Yeah.
like really cool little small moments that you remember thinking like, God, this wouldn't have happened if had I not been sober?
Um, yeah, kind of. When I flew to New York, um, in August of 2018, I was auditioning for the ship that eventually, like, that was my ticket out, was that job. And I was really hoping to get that job. And funny enough, the friend that I had been drinking with and getting piercings with was the one that got me the job on the ship.
Mm.
um, which is so, because she's like normal. She drinks like a normal person,
Yeah.
which is like incredible that you can put a drink down and not finish it. Like, why spend the money if you're not going to drain? If you're not going to drain your beer, what are you doing?
Yeah. If you're
I
not gonna
would
drink the
finish.
rest of that 12 pack, what are you doing?
Also, give it to me. Like, what are you doing? I'll
There
finish
we
it.
go.
Um, but yeah, I went to New York and saw my nieces for the first time. My nieces had been born, and I'd not seen them in person. Um, and I saw them in Hoboken, took the ferry over to audition for this ship job that I was hoping would take me away for like 11 months, and take me out of the apartment, take me away from the situation with this person that I had been with, and basically remove me from everything that I had created, which seems like a cop out, but my God. I walked out of that audition with the callback for the next day, and I walked out of the callback with a contract in my hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I knew, when I tell you that, like, I didn't buy the plane ticket to go to New York for that audition. Like, it was when I was like, I was being led by something, and I knew that I needed to be led by something. And then I got on that ship and met these two amazing people who always traveled with these other two amazing people. It was two sisters and their husbands,
Mm.
and they're from Victoria and somewhere in the south of Canada, on the east side. And one of the husbands, we were just randomly, one of the guests on this ship, randomly talking one day, and he we're like, we kind of like, we would dance with guests, and there was a lot of guest interaction for the entertainment team. And I immediately fell in love with this group of people, and they took me aside, and we're sitting and we're talking, and he noticed that I was always ordering Shirley Temples, because he was also always ordering Shirley Temples.
Mm.
And he was like, "Can I ask you something?" I said, "Sure." He was like, "What do you think of Bill?" And I was like, "Love him." "You?" And he was like, "Love him." And then he leaned in and he was like, "I have 55 years of it."
Holy smacker! What?
And I
How?
was like,
Damn.
55 years. Yeah.
Damn.
He he got sober when he was like 20 or something. He was older.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ugh." Like, I couldn't believe, I was like, because I hadn't, when you're on a ship, like, drinking is part of the culture.
Yeah.
And I had been offered free alcohol for months on this ship. Like,
Yeah.
and when you're
Yeah.
entertainment,
Oh
you would
yeah.
drink at the bar for free.
Oh yeah.
And
And then they
I
after
did,
party for free. Everybody wants you to do
yeah,
their drugs with them. And
everybody,
yep.
yeah. And I was like, no, it just, and it felt kind of lonesome, because I wasn't really able to completely connect in that community, because I was still so young in my sobriety. I was still so raw.
Yeah.
And this person shared with me their whole story, and to this day we still email.
Oh,
And
that's so cool.
then they get off the ship, and I was like, man, and I cried. Oh my God, they got off in South Africa, and I was like, they got off in Cape Town, and I was like, bye, bye. And he couldn't, he cried and I cried, and it was just like, he was like, I haven't gone to meetings in years, and I can't wait to go back, because you
Oh,
were just so rabid about meetings.
oh my God.
And it was just the most amazing thing. And then a woman from New Mexico got on, and I had gotten my 2 years. I'd gotten my 2 years, or 1 year on the ship. I mean, my 1 year, and we were in Zanzibar. What the fuck? Like, we were in Zanzibar, and I was randomly, she noticed, because we would have to host tables. We'd have to host tables in this great dining room. This was part of the job on the entertainment team, was that we would host dinners and people would come and be invited. And I would always, part of the dinner routine was to taste the wines that they had for the evening and then be like, very good. Mm-mm. And they're like, okay, great. And then they just like the wines for the menu of the evening. And I would always be like, would anybody else like to taste? Or I'd be like, oh no, none for me, but someone else can taste. And this woman noticed, and she was sitting next to me. She just kind of hovered around me for like a couple days, and I didn't really notice. And then she came to another dinner. She was invited to another dinner that I was hosting. She leaned in and she was like, tell me something. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, how long has it been since you've not drank? And I was like, a year. And she was like, oh my God. And she was like, has anybody given you a chip? Because they have meetings a lot on ships, but as somebody who worked on the ships, even though it's anonymous, it didn't quite seem professional to go into a space. And these ships were like 300 passengers. So it was not like the Norwegian. It was like tiny, tiny. And I was like, I just don't know, and I'd just be paying for internet to call the sponsor that I had at the time being like, help. And we became very close. She was amazing, absolutely incredible, had the kind of sobriety I wanted. She had 30 years. And she invited me up to her cabin. This sounds strange, but it was like the most safe thing. But she invited me up to her cabin and she was like, I know you're not supposed to be here, but I just need you to hold your hand out. And I was like, okay. And she put her 30-year chip in my hand. It's gonna make me cry. She put her 30-year chip in my hand. She was like, I can't leave this with you, but I would like you to hold it and just pray with me really quick. And we just said the serenity prayer. And she was like, you will get there. And I was like, okay. and we still email.
Yeah.
We still email.
It's huge.
And I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing.
Do you think that if you were on that ship now, would you go to those meetings?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wouldn't give a fuck anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't have cared at all. But that's come with sobriety, right. Is like that my sobriety comes first, not your feelings about me being in this room.
No. And if you don't understand that it's a disease and so on and so forth, like there's no taboo for me anymore. It's like, there's no shame at all in it. It's like the source of all of my power, in fact.
Exactly.
I got turned into that guy back there. That's me.
Totally.
Schwarzenegger, but
totally.
It's kind of me though.
Yeah.
So I was,
I
have to ask you one more question.
Yes.
This is an important one too, that I ask everybody. What did you fall in love with in sobriety? What did you like outside of recovery stuff? What's like one of the hobbies, the passions that you picked up that's been supplemental to your recovery?
Cooking meals for myself.
I love it.
I can make a pie, baby. I would say that I was going to say not being hungover when I wake up. That is fucking incredible. I don't miss them. Oh my God. I'll ask you a question right after this, but I love morning routines. And when I don't have my morning to myself, and it's been difficult in this panorama, but the act of like chopping things and cooking and like finding the right blend of seasoning and trying recipes and not being afraid if they're not my favorite thing. And they're coming from a space of like no self-care, no, food was on the go, food was optional, food made the alcohol work slower. Food was the enemy, like disordered eating and stuff, being able to, and I'm a good cook. I'll tell you that. Like last summer, I made so many pies that I had to deliver them to friends. Like I would literally be like, I'm fine. I'm testing a new apple pie recipe. I'm going to make like 4 who wants an apple pie. And I would drive into LA and give them to people in the middle, just to give them away. Cause there's no way we could eat them all. Right. But that's just been working with my hands in the way that I feel. And I just find a zen. I'll put on an audiobook or an album that I love or a podcast, and I just go away. It's like, that's my meditation. And it's just that working with my hands is the best.
Do you think at some point in time in the not so distant future, hopefully you could come on to Newly Sober again and show me how to make a pie.
Yeah, sure.
As a Zoom
Oh my
meeting,
god.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we could. Oh my
Right.
god. I would love to walk you if you've got like a full
Fantastic.
ass kitchen, we can do anything.
Yeah, it's a full ass kitchen.
Anyway, what are your hobbies besides this podcast
Podcasting,
in the martial
martial
arts?
arts. I started recording music again. I've been working on a rock
Mhm.
opera about a guy who has a superpower when he's drunk called Jimmy Darkness.
Jimmy Darkness.
Uh,
Sounds familiar.
yeah.
I remember Jimmy
Yeah.
Darkness.
So I'm working on this Jimmy Darkness rock opera. I I got a job in recovery. I'm a life coach for people
Mhm.
in recovery. I
It's
got
incredible.
pretty, passionate about that. Okay, so here's the other thing too. Because I've been helping people figure out what they want to do with their lives in their newfound
Mhm.
sobriety, I had to take a look at myself and go, am I really doing what I want to do, with my life?
Totally.
And you know what my dream
Totally.
is? I've been saying it for years. I want to get a van and drive around and play shows. That's what I want to do. That's
Yeah.
been my dream. It's so simple.
Mhm.
Why don't I do it? I don't know. I think I'm probably scared. Am I scared? But I'm scared that if I do it, then I'll have
Am I scared?
I think I'll have
I
everything I've ever
can't.
wanted, and then I might just be really happy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. If I succeed, then I'm gonna be successful, and then I'm gonna have to accept that like I'm the only thing that holds myself
Right?
back.
Right? So
God
anyway, I'm
damn it.
saving up right now
Yeah.
to purchase a tour-worthy vehicle to go around the
Vehicle.
country and play shows in, and then until that time, I'm gonna keep making this podcast. I'm gonna keep on trying to help
Mhm.
people get sober. I'm gonna keep doing my martial arts when I can and stuff. But I'm getting a
Yeah.
freaking van, and I'm gonna come to you, and I'm gonna play you a show that will make you cry. I'm gonna play the best shows.
I'm so
I'm gonna play the best
excited. I'm
shows.
gonna play the best shows. Um, I love that, and it's so like I think that's like that has always been your dream. I remember when we were going to the airport, that van that you had just was like,
Oh
bye,
yeah.
and you had to leave
Yep.
it, to leave the
Well, I
damn
didn't
van,
have to
and I
leave
was
it. I
like,
was just super hungover, bordering on drunk still, and I was like, "Well, I guess I gotta leave this van on the side of the road instead of like, 'cause you know what I mean? Instead of
I
calling."
forgot. Maybe
Yeah, I didn't have to
I
leave it
can't
there.
now.
In fact, I
Oh my
shouldn't
god!
have.
But I just remember like, and in my like upside down brain, I was like, man, he's such a rock star, dude. I don't know about you, but like my ego and my disease told me that I wasn't like other
Yeah.
people. That I wasn't doing anything wrong, or I wasn't like other people, when in fact I was literally a follower.
Mm.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with being a follower, but like I was like, no, I'm paving the way and I'm individual and I'm blah, 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 which
No,
is
I'm
also
just
it is
doing a
like
a shitty impression of Jim Morrison is really what I
that.
you know? That's really what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like to go back to what you said, earlier with like the great loss of this friend that you've had. I remember in that first meeting that I was at, where I had that incredible moto jacket Mohawk woman like lead me in, who I am convinced was my angel, like convinced she was not real. Um, she's out there being like, I am real actually. And there was somebody missing in LA that was a part of the rooms, and like posters had been up, and the woman that was leading the meeting was like, if you know anything, or if you know anybody that could possibly know where this person is, reach out, because this could be
Mm.
us. And that has stuck with me for so long, of like, all it took was 500 less dollars, and and it, one more hard drug, further than I've never gone further than like ecstasy, acid, cocaine, but like all it took was one more thing further, and I would be dead under an
Sure.
overpass,
Yeah.
missing. You know what I mean? And or ending
Yeah, we
it.
could have
And
any
it's
of those
like
things could have happened to us with the
to any
amount
to any of
with the
us.
amount we were
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
really fortunate that we made it. And I'm super grateful
Yeah.
that we're doing this thing together. This is so cool. I love you so much.
Yeah. 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 I love you too. Thanks for having me. This has
Thank
been
you so
great.
much for doing it. And if anybody out there is watching this and think that maybe they want to give this thing a go, I totally encourage you to do it. Look, two old friends reconnecting. Having coffee,
Hmm.
talking about the bad old days, looking
Talking about the coffee
looking up,
poops.
looking onward and upward.
Yeah.
Helping each
We
other
we
one day
really
at a time stay newly sober. What?